Hey everybody, it's Matt with jinX Brothers. Just wanted to do a quick video on how do you mail stuff? How do you save some money? Whether you're, I'm going to talk specifically about coins, but it really can be mailing anything. And at the end, I'll give you a super secret way to save a ton of money if you're mailing a boatload of coins that most people don't consider. Stay tuned. Alrighty, and away we go. Well, the cheapest, easiest way to mail a coin is in a plain envelope. You can see that I recently got this envelope that was featured on one of my other videos where I had ordered a couple of coins on eBay, and this is how they mailed it. They actually used stamps. They didn't even use a traditional label. This one costs 75 cents to send 2 coins. If you send a letter, it needs to go in a standard size envelope. If it's square, if it's rigid, if it is padded, those don't necessarily count. The square and the off size do count. They'll be considered a large envelope like this one here. There's two prices. There's your large envelope price, and then your just standard, which is this one's pretty close to square, but I think they'll still consider this a rectangle. This size, this is your most traditional size. There's not a huge difference between the large size and the small size unless you're talking about small ounces, but they're going to range anywhere from 55 cents to a few dollars. The most you can put into an envelope is going to be 13 ounces before you start getting into the higher prices that you're not going to want to do this. So if you're sending 1 or 2 coins, as long as it's not over a 1/4 inch thick, that's one thing you need to consider. So if you were to take a roll, it's too fat. You can't send this in a standard envelope. So, but if it's just a couple of coins or a couple of flips, I would not double stack, and I would also take a look at your coin. I know that some of, for example, the British pounds can be pretty chunky, and those aren't going to work. And you also need to make sure that you label the envelope machinable, or non-machinable, I should say, because they'll definitely rip the envelopes. When I'm mailing coins in an envelope like this, I traditionally will always put them in a flip. I'll make sure that they are in either cardboard or paper that's covering the coin. And then I add tape to the outside, so that way if they do machine it, it's not going to tear the envelope. I've had a lot of people mail them this way, and the envelope tears, the coin's gone. Even if it gets to you, it might not have anything in it, and that's the worst. So this is the cheapest way. I don't prefer it simply because it can be machined and you can lose your coin. But if you're looking for a super cheap way of doing it and you're okay possibly not having it make there, this is your way. This is the way you'll notice if you have purchased any or done any donations or have bought most things from people on eBay. They're sending them in a padded envelope like this. It protects the coin. It has bubble wrap on the inside. This actually is not an envelope. This counts as a package. And that's one of the things you need to consider, and that's why a lot of people don't want to send it this way, is because this is considered a package. This is really no different than sending a box. So when you're sending it like this, it's going to be a little more expensive. This is probably going to cost you closer to $3. And it depends on where you are and where you're shipping to, but this is going to generally range from $3 to upwards from there. My cutoff is once I get past $6, I start generally moving into the flat rate boxes, simply because you can fit more in it, and it just makes a lot more sense to me. And while I'm talking about flat rate, you've got your flat rate envelopes. You've got this traditional envelope. This, I believe, cost $7 and change for this envelope here. This is traditionally used for mailing documents. You certainly can fit coins in here. The thing that I don't love about this one is when you fold it over, it is supposed to be kind of flat, so it tends to bow. I always add extra packing tape to this top. I also don't use this very often, simply because the flat rate boxes are just a few cents more than this, and they're really built for something that has some more size to it. But for example, if you were sending a whole bunch of flips in here, this might be an option for you. Now let's get into the big boys. I don't normally use the small size envelope, and the reason why I don't use this, or the small size box, is there's only about 50 cents difference between the small and the medium. The medium is my bread and butter. Let's take a look at this here. Here's a medium flat rate box. Medium flat rate box is going to cost you about 15 bucks, give or take. It really depends. I buy all of my boxes through PayPal online, so you'll save more money simply by buying it on PayPal. Some people don't want to do it that way or not set up to do it that way, so they have to buy it directly through the post office. The post office is $15.50, but this box you can fit a ton in. I mean, here's an example. I've got 3 penny boxes in here. So that's 1, 2, and 3. You can fit up to 70 pounds in here. You'll never get 70 pounds in here because there's just not enough space. But you can fit up to 3 penny boxes in here. You probably fit a couple of quarters and have some space. So you can fit a lot of weight in here. If you are gonna send it though, I would encourage you to tape your boxes. I would also encourage you to definitely reinforce the outside, because these boxes do get heavy, and they tend to be rough with them. They will toss and they don't care what's inside. If you do pack it like this, where you put a ton of coins in here, it's going to keep them from shifting around, but it's also going to be heavier. You may end up with some broken rolls when you send in boxes like this. Just be aware of that. But this is the cheapest, easiest way to send it. If you need a little bit more space, you can jump up to the large size. The large size, I'm not going to even try to get that box underneath my camera, is $21.90, and it's slightly bigger than that, but for the most part, you don't need that space. And now I'm going to get to the super duper secret way to save money sending your coins, which is a flat rate envelope. This is your padded envelope. This is really meant for sending, again, documents. This is very comparable to this envelope that I told you that I don't use, because it's about the same price. But this one has a lot more play to it because it's padded, okay? This costs, if you're buying business, like I said, online, $8. If you buy it from the post office, it's $8.55. So what I like to do is, this will fit a box of coin, or I should say a box of pennies. I have not tried to ship anything besides pennies myself personally, but I know just from box sizes, you could probably do a box of nickels in here, a box of dimes in here. A box of quarters I think will be too long to fit in this envelope. But I know for a fact pennies work. And what I like to do with these is, I put a box of pennies in here, I seal it up, I scrunch it up, I tape that box really well, and then put this envelope inside another envelope. And then, not quite repeat the process, but seal it, tape it really good, and then label that envelope. That way, if the inside is to get damaged, I'm not potentially going to lose any coins. I also found that when I received a package like this, is what gave me the brilliant idea of using this is because a box of pennies is about 14 pounds, and because it's heavy, and this is an envelope that's probably not designed for that, they treat it much nicer. I mean, the boxes, they'll throw, they'll kick, they'll, you know, run over with forklifts. But this, because it's an envelope, I always tend to get these in almost better condition than I do the boxes. So not only is it cheaper, but I get better results. Now I've gotten some that I've had some broken rolls, but to save half the price of shipping is well worth it in my eyes. So hopefully that helps you send your coins or anything else for that matter a little bit more effectively and efficiently. Just know there's a lot of different options out there when you are mailing things. And some of the biggest differences are also going to be whether you have tracking or insurance included in that. That's one of the reasons why I like the flat rate envelopes. That's why I use the bubble mailers when I'm selling things on eBay, simply because I want tracking. I want to know that they've got them, and I want to be able to find out where it's at if for some reason there's an issue. So again, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing. I know that most of you that are watching this are not currently subscribed, and I'd love for you to join the team. And I'll catch you all in the next video.